There's a moment in every dying relationship where something shifts. Not a fight, not a dramatic blowout, not an ultimatum, just a quiet decision, made in silence, final and irreversible. The moment someone decides they're done with you, and here's what most people don't understand: easing. But it's not. It's the opposite. Because when someone stops fighting for the relationship, it means they've stopped caring if it survives. They're not calm, they're detached. And detachment is the real end. Everything after that is just paperwork. Here's what leads to that moment. It's usually not one big thing. It's 1,000 small things that accumulated over time. Every time they expressed a need and you dismissed it. Every time they set a boundary and you crossed it. Every time they gave you a chance and you wasted it. Each one of those moments took a piece of their investment in you, a piece of their hope, a piece of their patience. And one day, without warning, the last piece is gone. That's the moment. And you probably won't even know it happened, because they don't announce it. They don't give you a warning, they just decide. Quietly, internally, completely. And from that point on, they're operating from a completely different place. They're no longer your partner, your friend, or your ally. They're just waiting for the exit. Now here's what makes this so difficult to accept. When someone decides they're done, your instinct is to try harder, to prove yourself, to show them you can change. But here's the brutal truth. By the time they've made that decision, they don't care if you change, because they've already grieved the relationship. They've already imagined their life without you. They've already let go. So all your efforts, all your promises, all your sudden improvements, they're landing on someone who's already emotionally moved on. It's like trying to save a house that's already burned down. The fire's out, but the structure is gone. And no amount of water is going to rebuild what's been destroyed. Let me tell you the signs that someone has reached that moment. First, they stop initiating contact. They don't reach out first anymore. They don't check in. They don't share their day. If you don't contact them, days could pass in silence, and they're fine with that. Second, their responses become short and emotionless. No more long conversations. No more depth. Just surface-level exchanges. Yeah, okay, cool. Third, they stop including you in their future. They make plans without you. They talk about their life in ways that don't involve you. Because in their mind, you're not part of their future anymore. Fourth, they become indifferent to things that used to bother them. You do something that would normally upset them, and they just don't react. Not because they've forgiven you, but because they don't care enough to be upset anymore. And fifth, they start creating distance in small ways. They're busy more often. They're less available. They pull back physically and emotionally. They're practicing what it's like to not have you in their life, and they're realizing they're okay with it. That's when you know they've already left. They just haven't told you yet. Now here's the question everyone asks. Can you come back from this? The honest answer? Almost never. Once someone truly decides they're done, the relationship is over. They might stay physically for a while. They might maintain appearances, but emotionally they've already moved on. And the worst part? The things you're willing to do now, the changes you're suddenly ready to make, they're too late. Because they needed those things 6 months ago, a year ago, back when they were still fighting for the relationship. But now they just want peace. And you're not peace anymore. You're the person they're tired of. Look at how Ayano Koji handles relationships. He never lets himself get to the point where he's emotionally invested in someone who's not reciprocating. He reads the signs early. He notices the shift. And when he sees that someone is pulling back, he doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't suddenly try to prove his worth. He just accepts it and moves on. Not because he's cold, but because he understands that once someone has made that internal decision, nothing you do will change their mind. The relationship is already over. You're just prolonging the ending. So what do you do if you recognize these signs in your own relationship? First, accept the reality. If someone has reached that moment, they're done. No amount of effort from you will bring back someone who's already let go. Second, stop trying to convince them. Stop making promises. Stop explaining why things will be different. Because they don't believe you anymore. And more importantly, they don't care. Third, give them what they actually want. Space, distance, freedom. Not as a strategy to win them back, but because it's the right thing to do. They've made their decision. Respect it. Fourth, focus on understanding what led to this moment. Not to fix this relationship, but to make sure you don't repeat the same patterns in the next one. Because if you don't learn from this, you'll just create the same moment with someone else. Don't make it harder than it already is. They've decided they're done. The only thing left is how you handle the ending. Here's what most people get wrong about this moment. They think the relationship ended when the person finally said "I'm done" or walked away. But the relationship actually ended much earlier. It ended the moment they made that quiet internal decision. Everything after that was just a formality. The cleanup, the final conversation. The real ending happened in silence, probably while you were in the same room, probably while you had no idea anything had changed. And that's the hardest part to accept. You didn't even know you'd already lost them. So here's what you need to remember. Relationships don't end in dramatic moments. They end in quiet decisions. And those decisions happen after a long series of small neglects, small disappointments, small betrayals that you thought didn't matter, but they did matter. Every single one. And eventually they added up to the moment where someone decided they couldn't do it anymore. The moment they decided they were done. And once that moment happens, there's no going back. There's no second chance. There's no fixing it. There's only acceptance and learning and making sure you never create that moment with someone who actually matters to you. Because that moment, it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not obvious, it's quiet, it's final, and it's irreversible. And by the time you realize it happened, it's already too late.